Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, as always, Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. And speaking of Car Wash Magazine, look, I just wrapped up my review of the second proof of the first new version of the magazine. So we've got a special redesign coming for you. I've been talking about it. I'm going to show you here. You've seen it in this program. You've seen it come up here. That's the QR code so you can download the app. That's part of this rebrand. But there's one important thing for you to know about this printed piece, and that is, friends, that there is really only one way that you can get it. And if you want to get that printed version of the magazine, you have to be an ICA member. So you have to be a subscriber. That's $10 a month. It's a drop in the bucket for many. So I would hope that you all want to see this magazine as much as I do. And you would love to subscribe to your membership in ICA. Now, there are a select few of you who are going to receive this magazine anyway, and this is going to be it, friends. This is going to be the one you receive to let you know what you're missing. And so enjoy it, and then support us. So that's my ask for today. Look, if you're paying any attention to anything, or maybe you live under a rock, maybe you don't, maybe you didn't, you missed this. The Car Wash Show is coming up May 9 through 11 in Nashville. And to that end, I've got a little video I wanted to share with you all.
Jamie, you doing okay?
Oh, yeah. It's just so beautiful, you know?
Yeah, it really is.
It's almost art.
You know, I see it more like a science.
It's where art and science meet.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
Sometimes, I wish I was a car.
What?
To get washed like that? Whew. What? Hey, I love car washes. And if you love car washes just like me,
Or, you know, in like a normal way.
then you need to attend the Car Wash Show, May 9th through 11th in Nashville, Tennessee.
This show is bigger and better than ever before. With more speakers, more panels, and more experts.
More machines that could turn a person into a car.
Nope, you gotta stop that.
Okay, well, just imagine it, all right? Being transformed into a vehicle so you can experience everything firsthand. The foam, the wax, the blow dry. Well, there's more than enough to enjoy. Over 350 exhibitors, 60 plus hours of educational content, and more than 160,000 square feet of products and technologies.
That's right. So if you're serious about the car wash business,
Like changing yourself into a Volkswagen Beetle serious?
you really gotta let that go. Then join us in Music City this May, where you'll receive all the information and products you need to succeed.
You think if I go over there and say I was a car, they'd let me walk through?
No, I really do not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try anyway.
Okay. The Car Wash Show, May 9th through 11th in Nashville, Tennessee. Register at thecarwashshow.com.
There you go, friends. That's a little something special for you from our friends at Second City. They helped us out with that promo video. If you're not familiar with Second City, that's the improv group based in Chicago, well known for producing some Saturday Night Live talent. So there's only one way for you to get registered for the show. Do that at carwashshow.com, thecarwashshow.com, and make sure you get registered so you're all set when you show up in Nashville. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. It's going to be amazing. I mean, Nashville, the show in Nashville is like nothing else in terms of how we take over that city and how we get a chance to talk car washing with all of our car wash people. So I will see you all there. I'll be hanging out in the Car Wash Magazine Live studio for the duration, sharing great stories, and hope to see you guys there. So I've got a little Easter egg for you coming later in the program about that, about the studio, about what you want to make sure you come and find me and say. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, it is time for This Week in Car Wash. And so what's going on in the news? We've got Express Wash Concepts. They were named in the top 100, number 70, in fact, of the fastest growing private companies in the Midwest. So kudos to that group. They are moving fast and shaking things up. So excited to see what's happening there. This should be no surprise, but Driven Brands continues their expansion. They've expanded into 3 Midwest states with some additional acquisitions. That's in Ohio, Indiana, and Wisconsin. So you can expect to see them there. And then we've got some news for you from a car wash family that you all probably know. Jack's Car Wash has partnered with TRP Capital Partners, and in that transaction, they were represented by Champions Council partner Amplify Car Wash Advisors. So looking forward to seeing what that produces for the Jack's Car Wash family. That's the Mylans, in case you don't know. Congratulations to our friends, the Mylans. Looking forward to see what you all do next. So on a more somber note, I want you all to take a moment to just remember with me our friend Harvey Miller. Harvey is he's a former ICA board president. He's a former president of the Northern and Southern California boards before they became the Western Car Wash Association, and a longtime industry leader, really great guy. I hope that you would just join me in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Harvey Miller. Our thoughts are with the Miller family as they go through this time, and we are certainly thinking of you all right now. Okay, so we're going to talk today about something that's kind of a passion point for me, and it's a passion point for many of you because that's why you're watching this show. And it's going to be about people, and it's going to be about culture. And so we're talking to Hernani Alves today. Hernani is with TurboShine, and he's got a couple of books under his belt all about accountability and creating culture. And so we're going to get into that in just a moment. But before we do that, we were talking about the car wash show in Nashville. I want to give you all just a sneak peek here, a little promo from one of the speakers who's going to be there for you at that show in Nashville, May 9 through 11. Check it out.
How do we continue to drive growth and success in our industry and our individual car washes? Hey everyone, Josh Linkner here, longtime tech entrepreneur, New York Times bestselling author, venture capital investor, previous car wash owner, and delighted to be one of your speakers this coming May 9th through 11th in Nashville at the Car Wash Show. Together, we're going to explore how we can leverage human creativity, this often overlooked skill that we all have but don't always use, to drive meaningful results and impact. Cultivating everyday creativity will allow us to not only drive success for our customers, but in our industry and our communities alike. I'll share with you some really fun approaches and stories on how we can apply creative approaches to challenges and opportunities. This session is going to be energetic, it's going to be practical, and you're going to walk away better equipped to take on the challenges of the day and ultimately to continue to soar. Thanks so much, and I can't wait to see you this coming May 9th through 11th in Nashville at the Car Wash Show.
All right, friends, that is Josh Linkner. He's one of our speakers at the Car Wash Show 2022 in Nashville. He's talking about big little breakthroughs. He's got this whole creative framework for you to help you kind of think more creatively and think outside the box. It's going to be an awesome session. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Now, it's time for what I promised you, which is the phrase that pays. This is your Easter egg. If you've gotten this far into it, friends. This is what you want to come and tell me if you're at the Car Wash Show in Nashville for your chance to play our feature game in the studio, Plinko. Yes, friends, it's happening. We're going to have a Plinko board back in the Car Wash Magazine Live studio, and people are going to get the chance to win great prizes there. One of the ways that you can get your chance to play Plinko is by coming to me and finding me in person to tell me, get the right people on the bus, and then put them in the right seats. That is the phrase that pays. Get the right people on the bus, and then put them in the right seats. That, my friends, is the phrase that pays. Make sure you come and find me at the Car Wash Show 2022 in the Car Wash Magazine Live studio, and we will see what we can do about getting you a chance to play Plinko. If there are spots available. If not, I'm going to give you a prize anyway because, look, thank you so much for watching this show. Now, we talked about it at the beginning. We're going to get into our conversation with Hernani Alves. This is straight from Car Wash the Podcast, so if you want the full thing, you can check that out by subscribing to Car Wash the Podcast. But without further ado, here you go, friends. We talk about it a lot. It's one of my passion points, but we're talking about people. Getting the right people on, getting them in the right seats, but most importantly, creating the right culture so that those people stay with you forever. Look, to create that culture, though, is a super difficult challenge. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is figure out, where do I start? guess what, friends? Spoiler alert. It starts with you. Yep, it starts with you. So let's talk a little bit more about that, shall we? We're going to be talking today to Hernani Alves. Hernani started out as a part-time employee for a business, moved up into the role of president of a let's say that again, $3 billion company. Along the way, it turns out he picked up a few things. And so today, Hernani is a CEO of TurboShine. He's the chief motivational officer of everything. He runs Balanced IQ and does a lot of speaking engagements and appearances, and is an author. So lots of good stuff to share. Hernani, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, man. That was a great introduction. Have you been stalking
Maybe
me,
a little
Matt?
bit.
That was kind of
Maybe a little bit. I mean,
okay.
It's
That's
not
cool.
weird when it's work, right?
Hey, there. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Amen.
so let's start. I want to start with this chief motivational officer because I've long wanted to create my own title for myself that was just something a little bit more fun. So why chief motivational officer?
One of my clients, he owns a Makuni business, which is sushi here in California, and so his CEO title, he says I could call it whatever I want. So he's the chief dreaming officer. His job is to dream all day and dream of the future. So I was like, at the other day, my job is to come in and motivate. No one really cares what you have to say until they know you care. So I got to make sure they know that I care. So let's just say chief motivation officer, because if I'm not doing that, I'm not motivating. But if you think about what a CEO does, that's what they're designed to do, is motivate their team, motivate their company, and inspire them to go to that next level.
I love that. I mean, it's we're going to get into this, but it's better than some of the other names that you could be called, right? I mean, I know in your book, there's a name you share that I have also been called, not the her part, but I've been called that as well.
Wow.
Also, when early on in my career, I got Dream Crusher a lot, and that's not really what you want to be called. So, we work on these things and we get better. But we're going to get into that in just a minute. Before we get into all that, though, you got some splaining to do, my friend. Like, tell me about car wash and your ties to this industry.
Yeah, it's unique. So I've been in the car wash business since I was 19. Since the days I worked at Chevron, we knew that the most profitable part, gas isn't where you make your money. That was only sense. You made your money on the fountain drinks and car washes. So if you could sell those car washes, which I think at the time was like, this isn't back in the mid 90s. So it was like $3 for the regular, and then the best one was going to be like $5. So if you could do that, there was tremendous amount of margin. And so we won a few contests that way. And then my family, which was Frank, and he's my brother-in-law, and my sister, they really got they understood that the car wash model in gas stations is okay, but there should be something a little bit better. But he didn't want to do full serve with all the labor. He wanted to do something in between that was just, we know that most people have to wash the outside of their car more than they have to do the inside. So he created this drive-through express model, which it wasn't called the express back then. This was 98, so there might have been one earlier, but I thought he was way ahead of his time. And since then, the family has 6 of them in Central California called Fast Track. And then I've got TurboShine, which is more in Sacramento area, but it's, at the end of the day, you talked about people. That is way more important than having the best location on the planet. Because I've seen the best location on the planet have bad people, and guess what happens? It sucks. I've seen the worst location on the planet get great people, and all of a sudden it does well. So what is that? What's the common denominator? It's the people. It's the heartbeat. That's what drives an organization.
I love that. I love that because it's sort of like people don't join companies; they join people, right? I mean, you're not going to you don't go to work for a place because it's just, I want to work for insert big corporate name here. I go to work for a place because I interviewed somebody who I connected with, or my friend worked at that place, and so they referred me, and I think it's a great place now too. So I think that that's super important as we go through this. You have a fun advantage here because you've got this book with a lot of really good takeaways and a very specific process in terms of how to kind of create this culture. You also have that car wash background. So we're going to talk a lot about that today in terms of how do you take the things that are in your book and apply that specifically to our lovely car wash environment. So I want to start, well, I guess you have to start at the beginning because that's what your book says to do. You have to do these things in order. So tell me a little bit first, maybe just about the book, where that came from, and kind of how you approached that.
Perfect. The one thing I always get is the name Hernani. You probably never met another Hernani. You know, you can't even go to the zoo or find a Hernani. It just doesn't exist. So English is my second language, Portuguese being my first. I was born in Angola, Africa, and there was a lot of Hernanis there. There's actually a country, Hernani, in Portugal. That's where I came from. But how I got into it, I started off as a part-time employee at a great company here in California called Sleep Train. Grew up, eventually became president of that company, and then we sold the company in 2014. So we had over 15,000 employees once we kind of merged and consolidated. And I stayed on for another 3 years and wanted to start giving back to my family because I was traveling so much. 143 nights the last year of my year on the road. So here I am now, and I have a daughter that's in high school, and I'm like, it's time for me to give out. I'm taking a few years off, and I'm just going to focus on that. But when I left, it was amazing to see a lot of the people that I worked with, vendors and suppliers, go, hey, we want to have that same culture you guys had. There was unbelievable. Will you work with me? We want to have that accountability, that ownership. And see, most organizations, they stay away from that. They stay away from accountability. They think they're going to lose people. But once you do it right, that's when you create a culture of ownership. And once you create a culture of ownership, that's what helps take you with that peer-to-peer accountability. And it just helps you recruit more people, because I know it's challenging right now recruiting people, but it also recruits more customers because they can feel the love. You start reading in your reviews, I love going to this place. This is my favorite place. And you start just hearing that love word. That's where it takes you to a different level.
Well, and I think a lot of it too is like the change in personality for an employee from this is my wash versus this is my job. I think it's a tremendous difference because, and like you said, it does make it so that they can create customer experiences that make the customers feel like that's their wash, right? And that's where they're going to come back to, regardless of, like you said before, whether or not you're in an A+ location or not. Coming back to the people to create that experience that make me feel good as a customer. I love that. Okay, so you've scaled before. You've done this. You've done big business. We're scaling a lot right now in this industry. We're growing and consolidating. Are you into that? I mean, are you like, is that on the roadmap for you?
Yeah, no question. There's a huge opportunity. There's a lot more awareness about the car wash industry. The subscription model is going through the roof. Employees, I actually think, aren't as difficult to recruit if you've got a really good platform where you've got good raving reviews. You are out there, because employees like you talked about, they have a choice. They could go wherever they want. They're going to look you up. And if you don't have really good backbone or reviews, or they can't hear leaders talk about how great your company is, why should they work for you? There's so many options for them. They're going to go somewhere else. But the car wash industry is an awesome industry. I mean, at the end of the day, you're making people shine. But what else do you do above that, right? So do you give back? Is there anything? Why does your car wash exist? Why is it on this planet? Does your team know what that is? Do they know how to act? Is it okay for them to use love in the workplace? And that's kind of weird. That's one of our values, is love. And they're like, that's one of our questions we ask new hires. How do you feel about love? And they're like, many times, guess what we get? Like, oh, that's kind of nice. I'm glad you guys do that. It's not the romantic kind. I've worked with some car wash operators like, no way. There's no way I'm even going to touch that 4-letter word. I'll say the other 4-letter word before I say love, which is crazy, right? Because love is that taking it to that next level. I'm not romantic. It's not going to work. But the love of helping other people, the love of serving your team, once you do that, they're going to mimic you, and they're going to do that exactly with their customers. So my team has a rule that they'll never get in trouble for taking care of a customer. Never, 100%. I normally give them a high five. Like, I'm glad you did that.
That's great. That's great. No, okay. So you're leading us right into it. I love it. There's 3 P's in this process. It's personal, it's positivity, and it's performance. So we're going to go through each one of those. We're going to get into the personal side because you're teeing up the love piece. I've been around this industry for long enough now to have, talked to a few people. And what I always find fascinating and really, frankly, encouraging is that when I get to sit down and do interviews with people who have been in this industry for a long time and are doing it right, their employees, like, they've been with that company for 15 years, for 20 years, for 25 years. And you start asking, like, well, why? Like, what makes you stay? Why do you come back? Why do you stay in this industry? They always say because this company makes me feel like it's my family. And I think. All right, friends. I know I cut it off right in the middle there on you, but that's the whole point. Go listen to the rest of that program at Car Wash the Podcast, wherever you're getting your podcast content. Remember, friends, if you want more shows like this, you can download the Car Wash Magazine app in the Play Store or in the Apple Store. So make sure you download those to never miss anything. I want to really call out for you maybe two quick things. Number one, our episode last week was our last Thursday of the month program where we bring together experts to talk about a topic that is key to the industry. We were talking marketing last week, and we talked about ways that you can scale your marketing execution and ways you can kind of work your plan a little bit differently to get some of your sanity back. And so make sure you check that episode out. We've got a fantastic episode coming up for you at the end of this month that is going to focus on being really intentional with your marketing. And really, we're going to answer the question of should you coupon or should you not coupon? And for many in this industry, that single word is just as bad as the mother of all swear words. And so we will get into that at the end of this month. So put that on your calendars. Last Thursday of the month, we're always going to do a panel for you with the experts in this industry. So without further ado, don't forget about the phrase that pays. I said that for you earlier. And friends, when you're out there killing it washing cars, there's just one thing you've got to do, and that is you got it. Keep it clean.